Welcome back. Well, we all know the past 12 months has been a challenge for everybody, but it's also been a challenge for the agricultural industry. I'm here with Brian right now from the Cooperative Extension of Broome County. And Brian, I tell you what, I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel, which is great. And you guys are really shining a broad light on some hope in the future that comes out of the classroom. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we run an Ag in the Classroom program. We're actually in our fourth year that we're doing our formal Ag in the Classroom program. So what we do is we work with 14 elementary schools or school districts, and we're actually in 23 school buildings. We're actually teaching kids about agriculture and the importance of agriculture. The one thing we always say when we're into this is one thing we all have in common is we all have to eat, we all wear clothes, and it all starts with agriculture. So we think it's extremely important to teach the youth about agriculture and the importance of it. Some of them have never even heard the word agriculture, right? So it's our job as educators to teach these kids about agriculture. So we're working with all the schools this year on this, and it's been an interesting year for sure as we move forward.
Well, I grew up on a farm, and all my buddies were on farms. But as we moved away, I saw fewer and fewer of them come to work back at the farm. And we still have that concern today, don't we? A lot of people leaving agriculture, so getting it at the roots, in the elementary school, I think is a really great idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in production agriculture, less than 1% of the population is involved in production agriculture. But if I ask these kids whose mom or dad lived on a farm or whose great-grandparents or grandparents lived on a farm, most of their hands can go up, right? If we go back several generations, it's just our production agriculture has gone way down. 1 out of every 12 jobs is involved in agriculture in some way, somehow. So it's bringing awareness to the jobs in agriculture that they don't think of. And so that's our goal, is to bring awareness to potential jobs. We need this next generation. We need this next generation for agricultural jobs. We need this next generation to understand the importance of agriculture, not just in Broome County, but in New York State, but in the United States and in the world. Without them understanding agriculture and the importance of agriculture, it's going to be an uphill battle long term.
And there's so many different aspects of it as well. There's not just farming, there's equipment design, there's horticulture, there's mechanics who actually work on the equipment. So whatever their interest is, they can probably find it in ag.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're trying to bring awareness to, right? Is just everything that can go in from the computers. If the kids have a love for computers, they can work in agriculture. If they have the love for the outdoors, they can work in agriculture. If they have a love for animals, they can work in agriculture. If they have a love in art, right? We can work in agriculture, whether it's designing clothes, whatever you can think of. It all could be part of agriculture some way, somehow. Engineers. There's a huge demand for engineers, and we need engineers in agriculture. There's a huge demand for that right now. And teachers, the ag teachers, teachers in general, elementary teachers, having a knowledge of agriculture is so important.
Well, you mentioned computers, and everything is becoming modernized. We're taking advantage of that technology. Dan Z out at White's just showed me how you can retrofit a tractor with a computer that will help you plant, do so evenly, and you'll be able to use fertilizers or seeds or whatever more efficiently, and all of that because of computerization.
Absolutely. So Dan, showing you that is extremely important, and that's what we need our kids to understand. They need to understand that there's opportunities. I talk to so many people that are in agriculture right now that they weren't in agriculture 10 years ago. They didn't realize that these opportunities were available, and they never went into that field because they didn't realize they were available. The food systems is extremely important, and the more we learn and the more we do with food systems, it's becoming even more important.
Well, I just went to a graduation of a young man who had an internship at White's again. And there are those internships out there that they can participate and learn as they go to school as well.
Yep, absolutely. So we offer a couple internships here that we actually have our own gardens here that we're growing food and growing plants on there. We have several interns that work here with us right here at our own office. We also have an intern that works with our 4-H program and helping our youth understand the livestock program. So the interns are extremely important to give those kids that opportunity, or the young adults an opportunity to see what might be out there.
Well, Brian, I tell you what, this is really exciting, and I know all the radars went up out there. and they would like to learn more, what's the best way for them to do so?
So to learn about our Ag in the Classroom program is to go to our website at ccbroomecounty.com, and you can see all our program. Our program is extremely unique for Ag in the Classroom, and what we do is very unique. Some of the stuff that we're seeing coming out, we've learned about virtual field trips, developing virtual field trips. We actually have a virtual field trip next week where we'll be live on a farm and zooming right into the classroom. So zooming right into the classroom, we were going to be doing 2,000 kids in an hour. That kids would never have been able to do that. We're actually taking them to Trinity Valley Farm in Cortland, and we're going to be working with Brendan, the owner up there, and he's going to be talking to the kids about and showing them how they milk, show them how they process milk, and everything, and then at the end we'll do a milk toast. So we actually have a waiting list for that at this point. We have 2,000 kids, and every kid will be getting a glass of milk to go along with that. So it's just amazing to see what we can do.
Well, that is my favorite beverage. And let me just ask you, this Ag in the Class available in other counties throughout New York?
So New York Ag in the Classroom has a program that is offered. Every county is a little bit different. We're unique on how we do that. So there is a New York Ag in the Classroom program that's run through Cornell University. Katie Carpenter at Cornell is the executive director for that. But several counties have a staff person that works in them. Not all. We're working towards that to get them in every county. We have 4 educators just here in Broome County. We're unique in that, but ours is a partnership with our local senator, our Broome Tioga BOCES, and our school districts, and Cornell Cooperative Extension. So we have a great partnership that we started 4 years ago and unique, and other counties are starting to follow our lead.
Well, Brian, you've painted a great picture of hope. This is very exciting. Thank you so much for being on.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.